What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today's video is in response to a few different comments, a few different people in the comment section basically saying the same thing. So there's been times in certain videos where I talk about my criminality, and I talk about that when I was a criminal, I was very good at it, right? And there's people that do the whole LOL thing, right? And they say, how are you successful when you were in prison? And one of the comments today, and I left him a comment and told him that I'd be making a video based on how absurd his comment is, right? He said, due to my lengthy prison term, that I was not successful as a criminal. And so when I hear people say that guys that are failures in criminality are in prison, it really makes me laugh. And I also think off the top, these guys aren't a part of that world. They've never been a part of that world. If they were ever around it, that's exactly what they were, around it. They were not active participants. So let's start with this, since people like to bring up my prison term, right? I did 24 years, a little over 20, about 24 and 2 weeks, something like that. And so let's talk about that case briefly. People continue to try to rewrite the narrative, change the facts of my case. Here's what happened. Somebody from my neighborhood baptized his son, and he invited a bunch of the homies over for the after party. And we started at a park in my neighborhood, Oak Park, barbecuing, a bunch of family there. We had rival gang members there that were part of the family from two different neighborhoods. I personally went and told them, hey, Holmes, you vatos are welcome here, but when the sun goes down and the families start leaving, you better go with them. They were like, yeah, it's all good, Holmes, we get it. Everything was respectful. We were respecting the homies' family and what this thing was about and what it was over. As soon as it started getting dark, all of the rival gang members left. We continued drinking. We went over the bridge to the apartments. And we were there for a little while. We had 3 different run-ins with a group of dudes. 2 times they were in a car. The 3rd time, according to the cops, they parked a mile away from where we were at. They came on foot. They had weapons. They told the cops that they came to my neighborhood to put in work for an incident that happened the night before. A lot of people try to say it was a civilian and this and that. He was actually from my neighborhood. He was from a clique that had died out called the West Side Boys, right? And but he came with his friends, and they had intended, again, they came 3 times, 2 times in a car. They knew how many of us were there. They knew what they wanted to do, and they got out of the car and walked over there and confronted us. And I wound up killing one of them. Okay? Again, this was a celebration of a child being baptized. This was not something that was planned out. This is not something that anybody said, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that. The victim and his friends were told by me specifically to get the fuck out of there. I told them specifically, we're celebrating a baptism, man. Why don't you go down to the park? There's a gang of vatos right there waiting, hoping vatos like you pull up. They decided to make a move. And so we responded in kind. I did. Now, why was I arrested? See, for all these guys that talk that shit, oh, you weren't successful. Do you know why I got arrested? I got arrested 2 days later. A task force surrounded the house. I was on parole. They didn't even look my way. But 2 days later, a task force surrounded the pad. And they got me. Again, do you know why I got busted? I got busted for the same reason damn near everybody in prison gets busted. Because I fucking got told on. See, people that talk about you're not successful. Look, I need you to give me 5 examples of successful criminals. Do you not understand what my channel's about? There's no such thing as a successful criminal. There's not. Sooner or later, someone's going to snitch on you. So when people say, you weren't successful, again, to me, you were never part of that life or you were on the fringes of it. Because once your name starts ringing bells, your enemies and some of your own homeboys see you as a threat. And it'll be one or the other, sooner or later, that's going to tell on you. I didn't get caught, like I said, I didn't get caught at the scene. I got caught 2 days later. When somebody from my own neighborhood turned himself in with his mom and his sister and told on me. See, there's a lot of people in that lifestyle, and this is, again, what my story and my message is for all these youngsters, all these people caught up in that life. There are people who like to play gangster until they get around a real gangster. Then they get nervous. And when that real gangster does something around them and real time gets thrown at them like, hey, you're going to go away for life. Oh, no, they start cooperating. So, again, all these people that talk about how unsuccessful somebody is, if you're successful at a criminal, you're a petty crime. You do petty crimes, you're a petty criminal. You're not really a criminal. You're probably just a habitual thief, a con man. You're not really in them streets. People don't know who you are. If you're somebody in the streets that make people nervous, you're getting told on sooner or later. If it's not a surviving victim, if it's not one of your homeboys, it'll be one of your enemies. You know, I did time with a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people through my 24 years, my last term. Do you know that on more than one occasion, I had a homie tell me that the biggest killer in their barrio turned out to be an informant? Doesn't it make sense? When you got a dude in the neighborhood that's killing and killing and killing, and he never goes to prison, never catches a case, he's beating cases, cases are getting dropped. That's the cops utilizing a stone cold killer to catch other dudes who maybe did one thing. But I've heard that story on more than one occasion. So all you guys that have been lucky enough, smart enough, intelligent enough to have not lived the life that I lived, save your judgment. Save your little 2 cents when you say somebody that goes to prison is unsuccessful at crime. Nah. To the contrary. They were probably a factor in their neighborhood. Somebody gave them up. It wasn't that they got caught, the cops caught them. Does that happen sometimes? Yeah. I remember a homie I met in New Folsom. He was from Venice. He got jumped into his neighborhood, and like 3 weeks later, he's fighting a murder beef. Caught life. Just got into his neighborhood. Didn't know what he was doing and got caught. He was a kid. Those type of things happen all the time. But to say that everyone who goes to prison is a failure at being a criminal, nah. The mindset that I had when I was doing my thing when I was a youngster, and that 90% of the dudes have when they're really doing that, I don't give a fuck about getting caught. Their mind is made up. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They live by their own laws. Society's rules don't apply to them. They make their own rules and do whatever they want, whenever they want, and to whoever they want. So when you're trying to apply right and wrong or success and failure to a mindset of I don't give a fuck, it's never going to mesh. So I just wanted to take this opportunity and point that out for those that have that mindset. You know, it's just like the dudes that play gangster. Now they're on YouTube and they talk about that they were putting in all kinds of work when they were a youngster. They just never got caught. They had good money and, you know, had the best attorneys. Nobody who really lived that life believes any of them. If you were really doing shit, you were going to jail. How you avoid YA? At least. How you avoid YA and the joint if you're really all that? Anyways, that's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.